Who influenced the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6, 2021? So the insurrection was a major historical event that we all lived through and is something that has not happened since 1814. There are multiple people who incited this riot, but there's one prominent figure that I'm going to talk about most. The importance of this event was just so recent in our history, and it's something we need to talk about. So who incited the attack? There was Donald Trump, Trump supporters, conservative news outlets, and Republicans in Congress. All of these have their own ways of influencing the riot. Disinformation. So Trump and Republicans spread countless lies about the election for months over Twitter, over speeches. There was a lot of different instances where they did this, such as these tweets: "We are up big. They were trying to steal the election." Killing one in the eyes of the fake news media. A rigged election. Also, his speech at the Capitol provoked the rioters. These are a few more examples. Biden can only enter the White House as president if you can prove the ridiculous 80 million votes. Stop the fraud. Rigged election. You'll win. All of these tweets that Trump sent out really pushed the narrative that it was a false and fraudulent election to his supporters, when indeed it was not. So Trump's words have meaning. These were his words at the Capitol. "When you catch somebody in a fraud, you're allowed to go by very different rules. We will never give up. We will not take it anymore. We fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore." So these words really sent out this message to the audience at the Capitol that they needed to go stop the certification of results, otherwise their country would be lost. Fox News, Newsmax, and others. So USA Today reported that Fox had at least 13 reports falsely stating or implying the company Smartmatic had stolen the 2020 vote. Also, as you can see in Tucker Carlson, he said, yes, dead people did vote in the election, potential voter fraud. All of these were deemed false. These were not true, and it really showed the Trump supporters, or tried to show the Trump supporters, that there was fraudulent activity going on. Trump's targets. CNN reported that the mob had their targets of Nancy Pelosi and Mike Pence. There was nothing Mike Pence could do to stop the certification of results, but Trump didn't care, and he tried to get Mike Pence to stop that. And it really put a target on his back to his supporters because they rushed the building and tried to get Mike Pence. So the Republican Party, there were 147 Republicans that voted against the certification of the election, even though there's no proof. Yet these people really tried to stop the certification of results from happening so they could have Donald Trump remain as president. Did Trump condemn the riot? So he sent out a video via Twitter stating more false claims about the election. He also said, "We love you, you're so special," to the rioters and the terrorists. And not only did he say that, but he didn't really ask them to leave until later on, and it was very, very brief. So he did not do as much as commander to stop the attack. Sources and methods of search. So just look at primary sources of Trump, such as tweets, speeches, etc. There was news articles about the insurrection from CNN, USA Today, Washington Post, and I watched Trump's speech at the Capitol. I used sources that are deemed reliable and factual, and the major thing that occurred was that Trump's lies fueled the fire of the insurrection. Some connections. There's a lot of things that really connected to class, such as disinformation, the case of Dunning-Kruger effect, a solution aversion, and how people are voting facts they don't like, source hierarchy, how it plays a role as some sources are more reliable than others. And these are my citations.